Want to know what to look for in a shooting coat? Let's ask an expert. He may be in a shirt and tie today, but Nigel Musto, who runs the firm set up by his father, is a passionate deer stalker.
Maximum breathability is important because it's hard work. It's probably the hardest work of any of the shooting sports. If you're climbing 2,000 foot and going over the top of a hill before you stalk down.
So it's ignorance on their part. And once you explain to them just what management's involved,
by the time
they're all willing to listen.
It's chilly, you're then going to stop, and all that moisture that's built up on the inside of the garment is going to chill you quite hard for a long period of time. So breathability is number one, a good breathable product. Waterproof, number two. How long do you expect it to last for? Durability will be the next one. There are very breathable, very waterproof membranes, but quite a lot of them last 3 months or 6 months. If you want it to last a few years, you need to go for something like a Gore-Tex product. There's a whole different array of things. You can go from the 60 quid woodland camo all the way up to the £400 full-on Gore-Tex 3-layer, super breathable, super waterproof, super durable. It's horses for courses.
You want to buy that coat. So, you're in a shop. How do you test its quality?
To see whether a product's waterproof, you've got to take it apart, have a look at the quality of the seam taping work inside it. You've really got to put it on a suture tester and build up the pressure behind it and see at what point it leaks. Now, you haven't got that option standing in a store, so you've got to go on what you hear from other people on the quality of the product. A lot of people double stitch these days. It just makes for a much stronger garment. Seam taping, garment will not be waterproof if it's not seam taped. Quality of fabric is where you start. If the quality of fabric is not good enough, you can do whatever you like, and it's going to fail at some point. Quality of seam taping is probably number two. You chop lots of holes in a piece of fabric to put it together. If you don't tape it up properly, it's going to leak. We like to make a product that lasts for a long time.
So how did the Musto family learn how to make the best clothing?
My father went to the Olympics in Tokyo in 1964, sailing for Great Britain in the Olympics. He won a silver medal. He built his own sails for the events. They were obviously quick. So when he came back, there was demand for the product, and he started a sail making business. That quickly led on to a spot of clothing. It really started off by the fact that sitting on the rail on a boat in the middle of the North Sea at 2 o'clock in the morning in a howling gale and lashing rain, your arse gets wet, and you start thinking, well, how am I going to keep that dry? And when you've got a factory full of sewing machines and rolls of fabric, you can go home and experiment. And that's really what's always been the difference between us and our competitors. We do, funnily enough, enjoy sitting out there at 2 o'clock in the morning in a howling gale and lashing rain. And we don't like standing in the bar afterwards with people telling us that our products have failed or leaked.
Musto specialises in clothing for all the worst weather sports.
When we started in equestrian, it was half by accident. We were looking for another sport to get into. My sister started horse riding. My father found himself standing in the middle of a field wearing his bright red ocean fair weather gear and his yellow wellies. And while it was warm and dry and quite comfortable and surrounded by people in waxed cotton who were cold and wet and not so comfortable, he didn't feel he quite fitted into the environment very well. So basically painted it green. We were the first to do a properly waterproof equestrian and shooting jacket, which was the old Gore-Tex Highland and 3-day eventer in 1986, I think it was. In all the sports, whether it's sailing, shooting, riding, we like to work with the top athletes in each sport. In sailing, it's people like Pete Goss and Ella MacArthur and Mike Golding, America's Cup teams, Volvo Ocean Race teams. In equestrian, we work with Zara, we work with William Fox Pitt, a number of others. And in shooting, the West London Shooting School the professionals there give us a huge amount of feedback on product and are a great durability horse for us. I have to, for work, go up Scotland for at least 2 weeks a year and test the gear out on the hill. It's a tough job, but someone's got to do it.
For more information, visit the website www.musto.com.